Hi and welcome to Hedgehog Hollow and welcome to today's tutorial. Today I'm using the Neat and Tangled March release called Flower Medallion. This is a beautiful builder set. You can make so many things with it. You can make backgrounds, you can make some actual medallions, you can make flower scenes, you can make so many different things. There's lots and lots of cards I've got to show you with this set. But today we're going to be reprising an older technique called stamping with bleach. Now I know bleach is something we normally confine to the kitchen and our cleaning bucket, but it can give you some really great effects on paper. So today I'm going to start with neat bleach, and in future videos we're going to build on watering it down to give you different levels and tones within your card. So this is the card we're going to make using our bleach, and I've paired it with some distress oxides, and we're going to do some stamping using our Misty to build up our colours. So let's get started. So this is one of those oldie but goodie techniques that I love to bring out once in a while. So this is the card that we're copying that you saw previously, and you can see the lovely shades we're going to get, and we're going to pull some colour out of the distress oxides as well. And you can also see how nicely the distress oxides stamp out on this background. So let's pop this to the side. I'm using the Neat and Tangled Flower Medallion Builder, which is from their March release. And I'm using the Cracked Pistachio, the Worn Lipstick and the Wilted Violet from the Distress Oxides. Now what I have here is a little sprayer that I keep full of bleach in some scrappy handwriting here. This is just concentrated bleach. It's Target's own brand, nothing special. You can use anything, any bleach you have. I recommend if you go to the dollar store or the pound store, just buy the cheapest bleach you can because it has the highest ammonia content. So I'm going to spray it into here. These are little tea light holders that I use for all sorts of things. You get lots of them on Amazon for very little money, and I'll be sure to link those up. This is my bleach paintbrush. I put some pink tape on the end of it, so I always know that it's for bleaches and alcohols and those types of things. So in my Misty, I have already taped in a piece of Sahara Sand from Nina. It's a card base that I've just folded in half, so we're going to stamp directly onto that. And first of all, we need to stamp our centre. Now this design was cased from one of the launch projects on the Neat and Tangled blog, and I just wanted to show you a different way of using it. So you can use either beginning flower. There's a 5 stem or there's a 6 stem. I'm going to use the 6 stem because I can nicely make sure that this points top to bottom on my card. And you want to probably do it around about 1 inch in because we want room to be able to put these lovely pieces in here. So I'm going to move this over like so. And I'm going to pick this up with my Misty. I'm going to stamp it with the Wilted Violet. So I'm going to ink this up nicely and stamp it down. Then we can clean off our stamp. Now the one thing I will say is when we're stamping with bleach is to make sure when you've done all your stamping to give your stamp a thorough clean. What I tend to do is just take this sheet, put some Dawn over it or fairy liquid, and then just give it a good wash under some warm water with the plug in so that you don't lose any of the little stamps. Occasionally I've had one fall off, but the Neat and Tangled have been fine, but it's just a really good little tip to make sure that's on there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start stamping our stamens. So to do this, I line it up over my stamp, and this is where we're going to start with the bleach. So I'm going to take a little bit of bleach onto my paintbrush, and I always just take the excess off like this, and then I paint it onto my stamp like that. And what we're going to do is just stamp down. Now it does take a moment for the bleach to develop, so if I would use unconcentrated bleach for this technique. You can see it's taking some colour out of the purple. Every time I stamp or let it down, I also just make sure I clean it off. And then we're just going to keep going around all the stamens like this. And you can see as I'm going round, the previous ones are still developing. If you want to hurry that process along to see exactly the effect you're going to get, you can do that with a heat gun. If you want to stamp over the top of the bleach, which we'll do at the end, I'm going to heat dry it, but that's a key step. If you want to stamp over something bleach, make sure it's completely dry, because otherwise it will just zap the colour out of anything you stamp over it. And if that's not the effect you want, you'll be really disappointed. So we'll keep going round. And what I'll do is I will fast forward me going round all these steps, and I'll show you what I'm stamping each layer with. So there you have it. There's our finished stamped card, and you can see how lovely it looks when you take the colour out in the middle of some of those. You can really play around with colours. You could use some different stamps. I've got some more ideas with bleaching for you as well. And now we just need to add a sentiment. So I'm going to go with a just because I have someone in mind to send this to. And I'm going to make sure it's as straight as I can be. You can also check on your lines on your MISTI as to whether it's straight, providing of course the base edge of your card is also straight. And I'm going to stamp this out with the My Favourite Things hybrid. It goes really nicely, and you saw I also heat dried the top of my card to make sure there was no residual bleach, and I also gave this a really thorough clean as well with some stamp mist. And I'm going to do it just once more because I want it to be really intense on top of that bleaching. There we go. And one final thing to do is add a couple of diamantes. So I'm going to grab some diamonds here out of my drawer. I'm going to just give my stamp a clean off so I don't end up with black ink everywhere. And this is still my stamp chamois, and you saw I was also cleaning off the bleach with my stamp chamois. It doesn't do it any harm. I pop my stamp chamois quite regularly into my washing machine when I wash my cleaning cloth, and it comes out pretty clean. So the bleach won't do it any harm at all. And I'm going to use my tweezers here. Ooh. And these are excellent tweezers for all sorts of things. And I'm going to put them, I think, on the tips of this bleached piece. Okay. Just because I think this card needs a little bit more sparkle. I'm going to skip the one under the just because. And every card you do will look slightly different because the bleached effect will come out slightly differently. The paintbrush, in my opinion, is the best way to apply it. I don't particularly like the bleach pads, but you can try those if you have one. I'm just seeing if I have any of the smaller sparkles too. Okay. And I'm going to pop these in the middle. Let's go for at the tip of the flower. just to bring our eye back to those tips. And I love how the bleach just gives you that different colour when you actually stamp it on top of an oxide. If you are going to stamp with the same stamp with the bleach and with the oxide, then just make sure you give everything a thorough clean in between, like so. So I just love that extra little bit of sparkle. I think that finishes off my card nicely. And there we have it. So that's today's finished card, and that's the beginning of stamping with bleach. We also have another tutorial coming up with bleach really soon, which will show you how to get different depths into your coloured cardstock using bleach as well. So join us again for that soon, and happy stamping. See you then. Bye.